Oh, there we go.
Sent to DPAC for them. Yeah, for that that's the immediate thing that we have right now is the fact sheet. What kind of fact sheet do we want to provide DPAC in order for them to incorporate into the general fact sheet that we'll provide to the SNC community? Do we want one to focus on why contact that is good or bad, or like what the problems with it are, or what's actually happening statewide? Not just at community colleges, but public education in general. And if we want to limit the focus to community colleges, that's fine. Like, I understand that as well. And also, we're going around in circles. Do we support contract education? Do we not? From what DPAC has said to Harrison, Cameron, and I believe, is that contract ed isn't even on the table right now. We're talking about solutions. So, do we have any solutions? Can we come up with any solutions? Do we support, I mean, maybe the basic, like, we should ask ourselves the same kind of questions DPAC is asking. Should we do something? Yes or no? In order to fund more classes.
Should we support classes not subsidized by the state? Yes or no? Just something is too broad. That was what we came out of it. That's, that was the main question. So we did collectively decide as students, SSCCC, for all California community colleges, that's how we phrased it, said no.
Harrison,
as the associated students, do we?
Cameron is absolutely right. That's why I keep going back to it. And again, Yian, you guys weren't at the trustee meeting last night, and this is what I wanted. I need to reiterate this because over 65 people spoke against it, and then afterwards, the trustees, the board of trustees, still continue to support contract ed. So in DPAC, some of you may not understand this. They postponed it. The reason why I keep bringing it up is because they're still trying to push it forward. And so what Cameron's saying is absolutely right, and that is the SSCCC opposes local solutions to the funding problem. It's a state problem. We're all in this together. We're all in this together. And so now, talking about solutions, now let's move on and talk solutions, because I'm not just here to talk problems. I need to clarify that. I'm talking about solutions. I think the local philanthropist that gave $250,000 in a timely manner towards the support scholarships could have given that money to pay students to get signatures to get a real millionaire's tax or an oil severance tax on the ballot, in which we would have $4 billion for the oil severance tax per year, every 365 days, $4 billion back to our schools. So that's a solution. Here's another one. Every community college should be having town hall meetings, having this discussion, including everyone. ASAP, and we can do that by sending out an email to all of the other colleges which the SSCCC is involved. CSU students are talking, they're on hunger strike. They started a hunger strike today. These CSU teachers are voting on a strike right now. So we need to also talk about the notion of a strike or other direct actions. That should be something that students talk about.
DJ, do you want to go after Marco, or do you want to? Okay.
Well, I mean, my concern, yes, I do hear you out. We do need these things for the long run. But I think my concern is the 40, 50 students that I saw last summer standing outside my statistics class, that none of them got a class. The 40, 50 students that were standing outside my Chem 11 class over winter last year, none of them got a class. All the freshmen coming in this year, what are we going to do with them while we achieve these state solutions? That's why I do think, I do agree with you that we do need these state solutions, but what are we going to do about them right now? How are we going to solve that as a college and help them move forward with their lives?
Okay, it goes Yian, DJ, do you still want to speak? Yian, DJ, Joshua, me, Harrison, Cameron.
Not to close to Marjo's point is that, Harrison, the solutions that you provided, how many years are we talking about? I'm literally talking about in 5 months, winter class is going to be gone. It's in 5 months, the ballot is not going to, what happened if the money, the scholarship that goes into the scholarship goes into the campaign and it didn't work out? Then what happens in 5 months, the students are going to be out there standing with no classes, campus going to be closed for winter. And you're talking about long-term solutions, but then currently we're facing students that without winter, they cannot transfer in spring or whenever. that's in 1 year, within 1 year. We're talking about current need right now, what we want to do. Well, that $2 million that we're missing for winter to happen.
Yeah, I don't think we should focus on things that could have been, like the oil surcharge charge. Who's to say that that money will go towards education? That's not up to us as students to decide. What needs to happen is, the schools don't have money. Like, it's not, there is no what can we do to pay more classes. Like, students have to start paying more for their education, whether they want to or not. There is no money. If you want more classes, then you have to pay for it. So whether it's bumping all of the prices of the classes up by $5 or whatever it is, or whether it's having these contract education classes where people pay however much per unit, there is no money. I think what we need to start focusing on is not where are we going to grow a bunch of money to have classes. We need to focus on what should students be willing to pay for classes if they want classes. Like Margaret said, there's students standing outside with no classes. We need to be focusing on not strikes, and we need to be focusing on classes. So if it's students paying more, then that seems to be the only option, right?
Yeah, I want to make a quick remark. The whole
If it's marking on everybody, it's only like stick to that.
yeah, but that's an interesting solution. That you bump up $5. We don't have this. We don't have the power to do that. The state does that. It's Joshua. Yeah, like raising the tuition from 46 to 41. Joshua.
Yeah. So I think it's relevant to raise something I recently learned in a politics class that I'm sure maybe a couple of you may have taken the same class. I think we're speaking on different levels. There's 3 different approaches to dealing with state issues. There's the democratic pragmatist who looks to the people to make change, and they've been way successful in this bout. The coalition I saw last night at my last trustee meeting was amazing, was intense. People from so many different districts. I was caught up in the moment, too much to count, but it was the room was packed, and it wasn't all our students. So there's democratic pragmatists that have won the day, I think. There's administrative rationalists who look to the administration to set the rules, and there's the market rationalists who think that we need a market remedy. And right now, I think the administration and the market are blending because we're looking to market gains. But I think that we need to count this success. We're now on the media circuit, the national media circuit, international media circuit, I've heard. Because of the success of the democratic pragmatists, the SOC, the students have taken a stand, looking at this as a Alamo type situation in a grand restructuring that we would be capitulating to. It's a neoliberal restructuring, a privatizing of public institutions. This isn't a hidden thing any longer. This is Mitt Romney is bragging in his campaign trail of how he cuts education. It's the climate. It's no longer a stigma against cutting education, and we're taking a stand against that. So I think that the problem we democratic pragmatists see is finding a solution, because it undermines the larger goal of taking a stand, because we would be giving a thumbs up, no, we're going to be able to handle this, rather than looking at all those. I understand the burden of closing the door on these students. Honestly, I don't. That's the weakest part of my argument, and it's hard to defend. You know, that putting them on the slaughter bench for cultural advancement. But at a point, you need to throw yourself on the gears when things are getting bad, and they're getting bad when we're looking to raise the price to $200 a unit. That's bad. It used to be 13. I remember from back when I started. I'm an old man. Forgive me. I'm an older relation.
It used to be 11.
Yeah, no, I remember being 13. Sorry for rambling, but I remember being 13, and Schwarzenegger came here when it was free. It was free at one point, and we're moving farther and farther from that Grandmaster plan, and no one is saying boo about it because we're worried about the myopic, the short-sighted view of our fellow. Okay. I think you can
I want to point out it's going to be victim either way.
Right.
We go through with a program like contract education, you have the financial discriminatory practice of not letting students who don't have the economic advantage that other students have to take these classes. And they're going to be victims. And the school's going to suffer. The soul of the school, of a community college, whatever community college, doesn't even have to just be Santa Monica, will suffer. But if we don't look at local solutions, then you have the students who aren't getting those 40, 50 students Marco's talking about, plus, it's not just Marco. Yeah, they're going to be victims as well. So you have victims either way. And my personal belief, as a director, as a student, as a citizen, is that those students who could afford to take these classes should be, I mean, I don't want to phrase it this way because it sounds nasty, it sounds ugly, but they are more, it's easier for them to be victims because they're not as financially as disadvantaged as the other students. Yeah, it's going to take them longer to graduate, and that's unfortunate. But should we put the students who are already economically disadvantaged and you know, the whole Cal Grant issue, that's going to affect, who do you think that's going to affect more? Minority students who tend to do poorer and are already financially disadvantaged? The second thing that I wanted to make an analogy because I was listening to this on the radio. When you put, let's think about public education when I'm making this analogy. We have too many immigrants. We have too many people trying to immigrate to the United States, and we can't take them all. That's the argument that's being made, that we can't accommodate every single immigrant who wants to come to the United States. So, why not put a price tag on immigration? Those who can afford to pay to come to this country, they can come to this country. And those who cannot afford, well, I'm sorry, but we don't have a solution for you at the moment. So you can't come to this country. Is that not financially discriminatory? And is that not relevant to the kind of practices that we want to put in with contract education? Is that not the same thing? And would that at a national level, on an international level, would that not be the same kind of thing? My third point that I want to make, and then I'll have you guys speak, is what, as a board, as the Associated Students Directors of 2011, 2012, what kind of approach do we want to take? I think